everybody, this is Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another movie review. Recently, I got a chance to see After Earth, which is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and of course there are a lot of people who are under the impression that he's wasted talent and he really isn't good at making films anymore, and I don't agree with this assertion at all. Reason being, I absolutely loved this movie. It was far more feasible and logical than Oblivion ever could have been. It just made more sense, honestly. Plot is really well laid out. Of course, there are some moments that are a little bit, I would say, kind of... No, I didn't know. I thought that the moments that were quiet were just kind of made for pent up anxiety and fear, and it was more of a physical reaction. I believe that my father also agreed with this as well. I absolutely adored this movie. I just thought that it was really spectacular, and I just absolutely ate every second of it up. And there's a lot of mysticism in it. There are symbols used that I felt were Christian inspired, and if you see the film then you'll probably notice that. The whole idea of nature being a condemning sort of terrifying element is fascinating to me, and I don't know why. It's just, you never really think that something like that can be a threat, but in this case it is, and that's what makes this film that much more interesting and just that much more tremendous and terrifying all at the same time. There are some good moments that really get your skin crawling, and I really liked that quite a bit too. I have the book, which it's adapted by Peter David here. I haven't read it yet, but I'm planning to, and I'm going to see how the book and the movie correlate. And I'm actually looking forward to doing that, because the movie was just positively spectacular. Just everything about it was just beautiful and compelling and interesting, and it is good entertainment. Plus it has a lot of really stupendous core values. I think it had good morals, and the whole idea of the philosophy, I feel, that M. Night inserts coming from his background, and I liked that. I thought, whew, this is really deep, this is profound. And you know, my dad really didn't make the comment to that, but there was a moment in the film that just touched me deeply, and it was more of a relief, and I cried. I won't say what that moment is. It's just absolutely breathtaking, and just really such a heart-rending moment, touching moment in and of itself. The acting was exceptional. Jayden, I think, did an amazing job. I know a lot of people say, oh, Jayden Smith can't act. Well, you know, don't pay any attention to that. If you like sci-fi and you like the idea of coming back to, well, actually crash landing on a planet that's supposed to be condemned, and they're not supposed to even be near it or close to it in the area, and they end up crashing onto it and fending for their, well, Kitan does, the main character, who's played by Jayden. I really liked Kitan's character. I just thought that he was such an example, and just the whole idea of fear. It's very reminiscent of Dune. They had a different mantra, but in Dune, which I absolutely savor and adore, it's one of my favorite films of all time. Of course, the main character, he says, I mustn't fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings forth total obliteration. Um, I actually quote that in my everyday life. I know I'm such a nerd, but can't be helped. Um, it's similar in this. It's when his father is talking to him, he says, fear is a choice. You have to picture the outcome. Picture what you truly feel in your core. What is it that you sense? What do you smell? What do you feel? And I thought, oh my goodness, that is really, really deep. As a whole, I give the film 2 thumbs up and 5 stars across the board. Of course, one of my favorite composers, James Newton Howard, whom a lot of you will find familiar from many sci-fi films of the past that have been epics and have done exceptionally well. He provided the soundtrack for this movie, and it's really, really awesome. It truly, truly is just an astronomically composed soundtrack, and everything fits together with the mood and overall uneasy feeling that this abandoned Earth has. They go into why the planet was abandoned in the first place, and of course this makes much more sense because it could happen. That's what I think makes it all the more intriguing and captivating as somebody who enjoys sci-fi. Is probably one of my favorite genres other than fantasy and comedy, action adventure being combined with that sometimes. Will Smith actually was responsible for writing the screenplay. M. Night produced it. And I really think that people should look beyond the fact that it was produced by M. Night and give him a chance, because I really feel this film is exceptional. I think that it is stellar, and it just has so much in it that's really quite remarkable, and there's a lot that you can take away from it, and it's entertaining, and there really aren't a lot of slow parts, so the slow parts are deliberately there. It's to build up suspense, and he's so good at this. He does just a splendiferous job of building that tension, that pins and needles, creepy feeling that you know something's going to happen, you know something's going to come out and grab somebody. You just have that sense, and it's guttural. It's not in your head. You realize something bad's going to go down any second now, and you, even though you are aware of this, it happens anyway, and you still jump. That is just such an interesting phenomenon, I think, is that, in our reaction or instinct, and I think that's part of the film itself, instinct and determination, human will. The idea of sight, when they talk about sight and perception, I really like that quite a bit, because so many of us let our fears limit us, and when we allow that to happen, all of our others become clouded, and we don't perceive as clearly as we would usually do. Have we been calm and not controlled by other emotions? I've actually gone through this myself in many situations, and I don't know why this happens to me, but I go into survivalist mode. I just go completely stoic. Despite the fact that I'm stoic and my heart rate's really low and I keep myself very even keel, I'm very compassionate when I go into my survival mode. So the other people know that no matter what happens, they will be taken care of. And I'm not sure where I got this from. I probably got it from my mother. My mother was a registered nurse, and she knew what she was doing, and she understood the repercussions of the medical profession. So this comes into view in After Earth, I do believe, because he's speaking to him as his guide, and I just feel that there is so much to that. It's just such a profound film, and it's really beautiful. Especially the end scene, and there's a lot of humor too. There's humor that you didn't expect, but it's more the psychological horror suspense type. It's really, really artfully executed in just such a masterful way. M. Night does this so very well, and people should give him a second chance. I think this movie is definitely got a lot of potential, and I loved it. I absolutely adored it. I relished it, and I'm looking forward to reading the book and see how they correlate or if they differ in any way, shape, or form. But I enjoyed the characters. I think that the acting is just absolutely um, marvelous. I think that everybody did a good job. Will Smith, kudos to you. I love Will Smith. I'm a huge fan of his. I think that he did a great job. Um, he had to play a very stoic character, and I think that he did a very good job. In some parts, he comes across as kind of calculating and aloof and kind of distant, but he's supposed to. I mean, he actually makes up for that. But it's about redemption as well. So there are a lot of dynamics that are occurring here, and also the whole idea about survival is what really is the mechanism of the film entirely, and I highly recommend it. Even if you don't like M. Night, forget that. Don't listen to what the critics have said. Go see this film and just let your mind be open, and you can make your own opinion. And whether you like it or not, it's completely fine. I I think that it was a masterpiece, and I'm happy that I got a chance to see it because my inner geek could not be happier. In fact, she is throwing a party right now.